Didn't I say we're going to be back? Because we're back, and we're going to finish this right now. So bear with me, guys. Let's see what happens. Let's do it. My mouth went dry, chapter 21, and my knees started to shake. But Mom, how did you know it was Parent-Teacher Conference Day? My mind was racing. Maybe she'd found the brown envelope. Maybe Mrs. Avoff had implanted a communication device in my mom's head. It's the only logical explanation. That had to be it. Mrs. Adolf called us to set up an appointment. With no implant device, he wondered? Apparently it was a pink sign-up slip that was a certain someone was supposed to bring home, but, when he didn't return yours, Miss Adolf just called us. My face must have turned all colors of red. Don't you worry about it, honey. I know how things can slip your mind. You wouldn't miss your Parent-Teacher Conference, Hank. Not even for Filbert Funk or the Cold Stone Rock Concert, my mom added. Your education is very important to us, Dad added. Uh-oh, he's starting to sound like himself all over again. Whoops. Miss Adolf mentioned that we could bring a large brown envelope that she sent home with you. I assume that stuff with all your backpack with all the other papers you always forget. The room was starting to spin, all my plans going down the drain in front of my eyes. I hate you, brown envelope, he thought. Come on, Stanley, we better hurry up. Wait, I said, desperately trying to stop him. You can't go. Why not, honey? Because look at Dad. He's wearing leather pants. So, my teacher will think you're a rock star. It's okay. I looked over at Emily for help. She actually looked at me and she felt a little sorry for me. My mom picked up her purse, headed for the door. We're looking forward to talking to your teacher, Hank. I'm sure she'll have many lovely things to say about you. My dad gave me a soul brother handshake. Keep it real, dude. Later, he said to me. And with that, he bopped out the door and after my mom. As they were waiting for the elevator, I think I heard him say, Ramadang-a-ding-a-dee-ram-dang. I'm not sure what he was saying. I felt sick to my stomach. I ran to the phone and called Frankie. Townsend here, talk to me, he said. Frankie never just says hello. It's me, I got bad news. They came back early. What happened, Frankie asked. It's a long story involving leather pants and a telephone. The point is, they're going to school right now. I'll get Ashley, Frankie said. We'll meet you down in the clubhouse in 5 minutes. A clubhouse is just a storage room in the basement. It's filled to the ceiling with boxes and winter clothes and dishes. I have to face it, I said. I stood in front of Frankie and Ashley when we went down there. My plan has failed. I am doomed. Well, you tried your best, Zip, Frankie said. Here, I made this for you, Ashley said. She handed me a 3-ring notebook with the word Hank written on it. You can use it next year, no matter what grade you're in. Thank Ashwina. I think I'm going to miss you guys. Who will I talk to in class next year? You can talk to me, said a nasal voice from the hallway. I'll be in class with you. And I spun around, and sure enough, it was Robert Upchurch, my new classmate and my best friend. It won't be so bad, Hank, the little nerd said. We'll hang out together in the yard. I know you like to play ball, and I don't participate in physical games, but I'm sure we'll enjoy our conversations. Can't believe how lucky I am. No way, I can't believe I have to repeat 4th grade. Not with him. I just can't. I'm not sure what was on my mind at that very second, but I knew I had to get to school. I had to try to stop what was going to happen to me. I ran out of the clubhouse, down the hall, and I ran, and I didn't stop until I reached the door of Miss Adolph's class. Chapter 22. I stood there in the upstairs hall, panting like a cheetah. The sign was on the door saying, "Do not disturb. Conferences in session." I leaned up against the door, pressed my ear really hard to it. I could hear voices in there, but I couldn't make out what they were saying. I heard Dr. Berger talking. At least she was there. Her voice sounded nice and calm. Then I heard Miss Adolph interrupt her. I could tell it was her voice because she didn't sound like a crow or a rooster. And I heard my dad's voice. He was talking louder than the others. Alrighty then, I'm down with that, I heard him say. Hey, Dad, don't be down with that. Don't be down with anything. I thought my ear was going to fly off my head. I ran into a cave in hide of embarrassment. My dad was still in his rock and roll mode. I hope this kind of thing never happens to you, but in this case it does. I'm going to pause my story for a minute to give you a little list of some things you should tell your dad never to say when he's in a meeting with your teacher. Okay? Actually, you should never say these things when he's in a meeting with anyone. Actually, he should just never say them at all. 10 things you never ever want to hear your dad say when he's talking to your teacher. 1, I'm down with that. 2, you rock my world. 3, want to see me break dance? I want to hear these in my conferences. Number 4, shake that thing. Number 5, let's get funky. Number 6, come on, come on, come on. Number 7, show me the love. Number 8, who's your daddy? Number 9, rock on, dudes. And number 10, I think I got the mojo working here. Memorize this list and make sure your dad takes a solemn oath to never say those words. Okay, let's go back to my story. Chapter 23. I guess I was so busy making up the list that I missed the sound of the footsteps. I was taken by surprise. I lost my balance and I fell headfirst into the class, tripped over a wastebasket, stumbled across the floor, and slid my butt right into my dad's feet. Who's your daddy? My daddy told me when he saw me. No, Dad, I whispered. That's number 8 on my list, and you can't say that. I'll try, but don't count on it. I looked over to see who had opened the door to the hallway. It was Principal Leland Love. Oh boy, things must have been really bad if they called the principal to my conference. Hello, Principal Love, sir, I said, pulling myself to my feet. What are you doing lurking outside the door, young man? I was listening, sir. And were you invited to listen? No, sir. And why are you listening? Because I wanted to. After all, they are talking about me. There are some things children should know, Principal Love said, and some things they should not know. Do you understand what I'm saying, Mr. Zipper? Not really, sir. Well, then I'll say it again. There are some things that children should know and some things they should not know. Now do you understand? Yeah, that helped. The truth was, I understand his words. I just didn't know what he meant. Mr. Love is known for saying everything twice. In my state of mind, I don't think I could ever survive anything that would happen or that's said. So instead of arguing with him, I just nodded. He left, and we all listened to the rubber-soled Velcro shoe squeak as he left. Well, there I was inside the classroom during parent-teacher conferences. Now what? I looked at Miss Zadoff. She seemed very tired. I looked at my dad, but he was busy looking over a stack of papers that looked like they were in my handwriting. I recognized my handwriting because it looked like it was written in Chinese, except I wrote it in English. Mrs. Zadoff was holding a report, making marks about it with a red pencil. She was probably correcting her own report. She can't stop correcting papers. The only one who looked like she was interested in me was Dr. Berger. She was holding another one of her favorite coffee mugs. Children are the future. Hello, Hank. Would you like to sit down? Excuse me, Dr. Berger, Miss Zadoff said, but that's against the rule. This is a parent-teacher conference, not a child-teacher conference. If it's all the same to you, Fanny, I think Hank made a very good point to Principal Love. He has a right to know what we're talking about. I had completely forgotten that Fanny was Mrs. Zadoff's first name. You never think of your teachers' first names. I always just assumed everybody calls Miss Zadoff, everywhere she goes. 99, Mrs. Zadoff, people would say. Ordinarily, that Fanny word would have made me laugh my head off, but I was too scared to even laugh. Dr. Berger pulled up a chair for me, but I didn't sit down. It looked like it was tilted, and I was just too scared. Sit down, I heard Miss Zadoff said. Okay, here we go. Everybody was waiting for me to sit down and say something. If you don't mind, I'll just stand, I said. My voice sounded weird to me. What's going on with me? Wait a minute, Hank. That's it. You're scared. Scared of what they're about to say to you. My father got up. Chill, little dude. Take a little load off those soles of yours. Maybe that's not really my dad next to me. Maybe my father is still on the Stone Cold Rock concert and this is just a guy from a different dimension. Definitely not my dad. Dr. Berger was looking at me over the top of her glasses. Her glasses had lavender lenses. Hank, Dr. Berger said, thank goodness. Thank goodness her voice was starting to sound normal. I noticed I was holding my breath. Breathe, Zip, breathe. I can do it. Just one question, I said, and only one. And suddenly it came blurting out of my mouth. Am I going to be left back? I said. Chapter 24. It seemed like forever until somebody finally said something. Why wasn't anybody answering me? It was obvious. They didn't know how to break the news to me. Please, I heard myself saying, I'm begging you, don't do it. Don't. It would be horrible. I'd be so embarrassed. I couldn't show up for school ever again. Everybody would be talking about Hank, the stupid loser. Hank, the moron. I don't know. I'll try harder. I'll be good. I promise. Suddenly, I felt my mom's arms around me. Normally, I don't allow public displays of affection, but this felt awfully good. It's okay, honey. We haven't decided to hold you back. You haven't? Even though holding you back is not the worst idea in the world, Miss Zadoff said, we are thinking about recommending that you go to summer school instead. Hank, Dr. Berger said, we believe that you, to be a successful fifth grader, you need to strengthen your basic skills in math and reading comprehension. She made some sense. I had to give her that. I understood it. Because of your learning challenges, if you're going to succeed in school, you're going to have to be willing to put in some extra time. Are you down with that, Hank? My dad asked. If it meant I can go into fifth grade and be with Ashley and Frank, I'd be down for anything. So, sure, Dad, I'm down with that. The summer school class is small. You'll be able to get a lot of extra attention and individual instruction. You mean all I have to do is go into the fifth grade? All I have to do to get to the fifth grade is go to summer school, I said? Dr. Berger nodded. I felt like jumping up and down. Cool, I said. Where do I sign up? Wait a minute. Am I agreeing to do summer school? Who does that? I can't believe I just heard myself say that. Hank, shut up before you volunteer to write an extra credit book and report on why Japanese people look like blowfish. That's just mean. I want to give you an opportunity to succeed, Hank. I thought you were going to make me repeat the fourth grade, I said. I know that both of you and your friend Bernice were worried about that, but I wanted you to know that we're on your side. We're here to help you. But what about that brown envelope, the one that said I'll be held back? Oh, you mean this one? And Dad said, pulled out the brown envelope. Your papers are full of spelling errors, my dad said. Looks like you gave Miss Adolph red pencil a lot of work. He reached into his pocket of his leather pants and pulled out a shiny silver mechanical pencil, and he twisted it so thin the lead popped out to the point. He handed it to Mrs. Adolph. You can keep it, my dad said. I have a whole collection of it. Would you like it, Miss Adolph? Hold on your hats for this one. Miss Adolph actually smiled. She said, I'm down with that. We all laughed. I felt like a 5-ton sack of smelly socks had been lifted off my back. It's gross. I promise you guys, I'm going to work hard in summer school. I'll do all my math. I'll read the dictionary if I have to. In fact, I'm going to start right now, all right? How about the word redo? I looked that word up on the way over. It means do over, but maybe I'm wrong. I'm starting to banter. You're quite right, Miss Adolph said. I often use the word redo to indicate things that need to correct them. For example, Henry sometimes I write in my book to indicate a certain report card I need to rewrite because I did a messy job on it. Really? I said. That's why you write redo? To help yourself out? Somehow I feel like you may have run across the use of the word recently. Didn't you, Henry? Mrs. Adolph asked. I have to confess, I did recently run across that word, and there it was. She knew, I looked in her roll book. That will be another conversation, Henry, that you and I will have in private. Let me just say that it appears that you will have the opportunity to improve your reading comprehension even before summer school begins. Perhaps in after-school sessions with me? Well, I may not be smart in a lot of things, but one thing I know, I've gotten really good at the ability to sniff out a punishment, and to me, that sounded like detention. Well, I bet you $5, and I'm going to begin to do that extra credit book report on that Japanese look like blowfish anyway. Oh well. But hey, at least I'm going to be in the 5th grade next year. Hank Zipzer, 5th grader. I like the sound of that. Oh yeah. It's the end of the book. So thank you guys for bearing with us as we read this entire story. It was so good, so much fun. Answer the following questions. Most of it's going to be, hey, what is the lesson of this story, guys? What's the main idea? What is it really trying to tell us? Okay, is what I want to know. So thank you guys again, and we'll see you in the future. Good job.